Peace, peace, peace. What's good, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing well. Went to sleep early, got up early. So I'm up now. You know what I mean? Thought I'd tap in. You know what I mean? Been a couple days. Yeah. What I put up there? Transcendence. Yeah. You know, that's a strong word, transcendence. But I guess I'll get into it. What I've been kind of moved to talk about transcendence because I started to understand, what it could mean, especially what it could mean along, what it means pertaining to me. That's what I really want to say. I got into, a conversation with an old friend of mine. We've been talking the last couple of days. I hadn't seen him in a lot of years. He had moved overseas, and he just recently came back to the States. But we was talking, and we were talking about religion and we were talking about a lot of different issues, and I guess he wanted to pick my brain, about how I felt about this, how I felt about that. But also he was questioning me, just to check my temperature or whatever, about some of the things maybe I've been saying recently, on my videos, and so forth. Because, I have a religious family and friend circle. But through talking with him, that word just it's popped up. Well, it popped up on me through something else I was listening to, but the word transcendence. And I can remember making certain statements saying that with certain mainstream opinions and also beliefs, I've kind of went past. I've gotten past those, those beliefs or those opinions. Like I don't agree with those opinions anymore. So I've transcended. I've gotten past them. But I always talk about, people inside of all of these different dogmatic systems that we've been brought up on. There are tests that go on inside of these dogmas, these creeds, and these little tests that go on quietly. And a lot of people are not paying attention to these little small tests. A lot of people are not passing these tests. A lot of people are not making the right decisions. They're not choosing the correct door, And Allah, God knows best. You know what I mean? But if what a person is doing in private. But the point I'm trying to make is these tests have a direct they directly, where you go, whether you go left or you go right, is based on what decisions, the decisions that you make. So if you decide to do, let's say, an evil thing, then you're going in the wrong direction. If you go right, then you're going to go into a good direction. And that's one of the keys to even having some type of extra knowledge or new knowledge that you come across that may enhance your life. It has to work when nobody's looking. You know what I mean? It can't just work when you in the presence of the people, and the people, bismillah. It has to work when you're in private, when you're by yourself, because all the deals that have been made with the devil have been made in private. And that's like a joke, and I tried to be slick with it, but that's the truth. All the people that we may have heard about that may have did some type of deal with the devil for sold somebody out for the money or for the prize or whatever. They've done these things in private. So the information, the knowledge, the so-called understanding that you may acquire, and you feel like you raising in your stature has to raise in private first. How you operating when nobody's looking? That's the truth. You know what I mean? That's the truth. And transcendence into like a higher realm of thought and a higher realm of being, is the only way that you're going to be able to tell that you have transcended is if you are able to make the right decisions in those times, in those private times first. Then after that, when you get into a situation and you're amongst the people and the people can see you with their eyes, then, you know, of course, you're going to play the role of what you are, being a truthful person, somebody that's standing on something that's right. So, you know, all on the road, you know, of elevating and evolving into one of your better selves. You have to, you have to be about something. You have to be disciplined. You got to show yourself that you can control yourself. That you have to show yourself that you will tell the truth in a trying time. Meaning, just like it ain't going, like you ain't gonna get no worldly profit for telling the truth. I constantly get tested about certain things. It could be being on my background. You know what I mean? But I'm sticking to the script. And I advise anybody, myself and anybody who wants to listen, to do the same thing. You know what I mean? If you know something, share it with somebody. If you're experiencing fear, then you should pray. You know what I mean? That's why I never talk about leaving off your belief or your knowledge of Allah, the Most High, the God, the Creator. Because in those spots, you know what I mean, those private times when it's just you and whatever's approaching you to do something that may be wrong, you're going to need the original Most High Creator to probably get you through those times. So you're going to have that connection. So establish that connection. Establish that connection before that time comes to pass, so that you can be prepared for it. And like, again, I make comparisons of the lifestyle that I used to live. Well, I still do, but I'm just saying that I was completely immersed in with athletics, with sports, boxing. The way that one prepares for a competition, they prepare for it long before you may see them on TV or you see them in the arena doing what they're doing. They're prepared for long periods of time to be able to get down like that. So, in the spiritual world, which this whole world is a spiritual world, you're dealing with things that are approaching you that are not flesh and blood. You're dealing with things that are psychic, that are not even coming from other people, but just mental things that we deal with because we suffering from different things. We're suffering from our experiences in life. A lot of us are, right? So, in the process of transcending the old stuff and rising above it, you have to prepare yourself for it. You have to train. You have to train your mind. You have to train your spirit to be strong in those spots. You know what I mean? And it's a continuous thing. Hey, if you're in here, you hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Hit that like button for me. But that's just something else that I believe, that I know that should be touched on. Because a lot of us that have, let's say, transcended the limits of old ways of thinking, you know, we always gonna have people that's gonna try to pull us back with fear tactics, and they may not even know that they're doing it. You know, try to make you scared of something, to be fearful of something. You know, because when you're in a certain state, you'll have people making you afraid to go forward. But then there'll be another group of people telling you to be scared of going backwards. So you constantly in motion like this, you know, like whoa, right? But the weight that's on the shoulders, you know, people that have knowledge, they carry the weight of it. You know what I mean? It always comes with a new knowledge. It comes a new responsibility. It's a new weight on your shoulders of knowing, being in the know, especially when the majority of the people are still in a sleep state, in an ignorant state. So, in order for you to carry that weight, you gotta be strong. So you gotta train. You gotta train your mind. You gotta train your resolve. Your resolve has to get stronger. You know what I mean? All of these are just some basic things. You know what I mean? You know, if you really just look at the world and how the world is operating and where it's going, we all know that we're going in a direction of, it may seem like it's getting worse, but it's actually getting better, because it's just like when you detoxify the body, you know, you take the detox and your stomach is bubbling and it's maybe kind of painful, especially if you really needed that detox. And you know, it's painful. And you be like, oh man, I should have waited. I shouldn't have took that because my stomach is messed up, or whatever the case may be. So detoxing your life from negativity, negative people, negative thought patterns and mindsets, it can be a painful experience. So be prepared for it. Don't be thinking that just because you're going into something new, you're not going to encounter opposition or just difficulty. You know what I mean? Even like myself, like, you know, me going in a certain direction, I've lost certain resources of life that I had in the past due to that, because my people in my family and my friend circle don't agree with my position on certain things, or they don't like what I'm saying. So, you know, certain things. So just, you have to be prepared for these things. But in all of the chapters in the history of man, when, you know, you had individuals standing up for truth, standing up for their people, standing up for that which is right. All of these people in all of these chapters experienced opposition and difficulties. Bottom line. So, if you really one of the people that's on the truth about that, then just be prepared for it and fortify and train yourself to be able to deal with it from day to day, on a day-to-day process. You know what I mean? And like I said, you know, the Most High God is always connected to it. You know, is always connected to it. So you should always be mindful of right and wrong, and make sure that you're doing the right things, because it'll strengthen your resolve. Because the more stuff that you're doing that's incorrect, your thought, you know, doing wrong things, it kind of like intoxifies. It makes you, it's like drinking or smoking. You know how they say it impairs your judgment, right? You know what I mean? So that's why you shouldn't drink and drive. Well, the same way you shouldn't live on foolishness. You know what I mean? People that live on constant foolishness, they don't ever think right. You know what I mean? People that's on a bunch of, you know, the party lifestyle, the sex you up every day lifestyle, all of that stuff intoxifies the brain. Path to health, true, peace. You know what I mean? So living a clean life is always going to strengthen your resolve. and it's going to be more of a chance that you're going to make the right decision at the moment of truth. Even if you have to back away from certain things that have been inbred into you, and you've just been on this stuff for all your life and for many years. It's just it's a scary thing. I've experienced it. I could play it cool, as I'm talking, but I've actually went some years really being on the same thing I'm on now. I just wasn't really talking about it, and people really wasn't. Besides the fact that I let my hair grow and stuff like that, that people found that strange, because I was always the type of guy that always kept a haircut. You know what I mean? I always just kept a haircut. I was a haircut guy, type of guy. I always keep a fresh cut, but but I didn't talk about my views or me adjusting, my belief system. You know what I mean? And because I know how the people are. You know what I'm saying? And I just, fear this, fear that. I don't want my money situation or my any kind of other little situations to be affected. So I'll just remain quiet about it. But the more you know, and the more you start to understand without using the other word plays with it, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The more you understand about these things, the more you know. Like if you really one of the ones who got a little handle on how things is going, then you have a duty to advise people. You got a duty to, and even if you can't advise people, you got a duty to live right and to display and portray a good image for people that's coming in behind you to look to you and be like, oh, okay, I remember when he, yeah, all right, I'm gonna do it. And no, he did it. I can do it too. So that's really what I really want to make sure that I put out into the reality that everything gonna be all right. You know what I mean? I go day by day with it. You know what I mean? I have a lot of difficulties. I struggle with a lot of things. You know what I mean? But I pray it out. I do what I gotta do, and I remain steadfast on, how I'm living, and I'm living right, and I live a clean life. And when it comes down to like the ins and outs of beliefs and stuff like that, I could talk about it, certain things, if somebody asked me about it. But I think at this point, just making conversation off the top of my head, I'm just talking about trying to be at peace and being at peace with your journey, and whatever it may be, whatever it may be. But if if what you're doing is right, you know what I'm saying. So, and hey, if you're doing what's right, then stick to it. Don't matter if your grandma don't agree, or if the people in the church don't agree, or the people in the masjid don't agree. You know what I mean? It ain't really about with them, because really at the end of the day, it's all about you as an individual. And the more I talk about that, the more you get into the reality thing. Like, okay, I live in my world. You know what I'm saying? And I respect myself. And when I come and when I enter into somebody else's world, I respect them too. If I see something in their world that I don't like, I exit their world. You know what I mean? I take my world, meaning me, and I go somewhere else with it. And that keeps conflict down too. Knowing what the kind of stuff that you need to stay away from. If people, it's good to stay, unless you're really trying to advise people or whatever, it's good to stay away from people that ain't on the same mindset as you. You know what I mean? Just to stay away from them. If they don't want to hear it, then it ain't time for them to hear it yet. You ain't got to force nobody to do nothing. We live in in the world in general that we living in. We have the freedom Well, when we get into the word freedom, and you do got the freedom to do what you want to do. You can so-called believe what you want to believe. You know what I mean? You even so much so that you can even get on TikTok and talk about it if you want to. So ain't nobody putting nobody's sword to nobody's neck, forcing them to be Christian or to be Muslim or to be a Bible follower. You know what I'm saying? Because I know there's a difference between Christians and Israelites and all that, but I'm just saying, all that the Bible stuff, which is cool, right? I actually know the Bible. I know how it applies to me and my particular group of people. And it can be used. It can be used for a lot of different things. It can be used for a lot of it. But people, I'm just saying, it can be used for a lot of different things. That book could be used for good. It could be used for evil. Just like all the other religious books. They're very powerful books. And that's another thing that me and my homeboy was talking about, and about the power of the religious books. How a person that has the knowledge of these books, they acquire, great power by knowing the books. And I said, yeah, you ain't never lied about that. I said, because, the people you can use the book for evil or for bad. And then I brought up something about yin and yang. I said, yeah, because these people over here, the yin and yang thing, you got the light and the dark side of everything, right? And as they say, everyone and everything has that light and dark side. Well, it's just like you got groups of people that say that the Bible is a whole book, a whole magic book, right? Hey, it could be, because I said, hey, it could be. You know why? Because I said, have you ever heard of someone using the Bible to talk somebody into killing somebody? Well, deleting somebody. I'm sorry. Have you ever heard of someone using the Bible and they use the Bible to convince somebody to let's say to sleep with someone, to marry them for whatever reason? Of course, if you're married, you're going to end up having to sleep with the person. And he said, yeah. I said, well, then this is a clear sign that book, especially if you can use the book and the words of that book and the misinterpretation of the words of that book to cast a thought on somebody's head to make them think something, to go doing something, to do something, whether it be good or bad. You see what I'm saying? So guess what? That book can be used, just like all other religious books can be used, both ways. So, I'm just saying, as you know what I mean, as you elevate, you get it, you'll get it. You know what I mean? And that's why you understand that you ain't supposed to get hyped about too much different things. Well, you don't get hyped about it. You gotta keep your head with you. The best way to know that you're doing the right things is if you gotta be cool under pressure. You gotta be able to stay cool, and you ain't gonna be able to stay cool if you don't know nothing. If somebody just talking to you and they can just say anything to you, and yeah, you'll get tricked. You'll get tricked out of your spot, or you'll get tricked out of the progression that you're making in your life. A lot of people have been making certain kind of progresses in their life, and then somebody come in and cast some type of word spell on their head using words from a book, and they don't even understand the book correctly, or they just trying to use it to keep you in check so you don't go forward. So you have to fortify yourself so that you can see through different forms of deception. And the same way, I use the word transcendence, and I think I might have spoken on the word freedom. That word, that's another word that's coded in spelled out, right? You know what I mean? Because you got people that are truly not free, that believe that they are experiencing freedom, but they've been conditioned mentally using different forms, spells from, let's say, any different kind of books, even like political books, whereas though you have people, they believe in their mind, they believe, they don't know that they free. You know what I'm saying? But, but they're not free. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't, anything, even if you cross the bridge to go from one place to the next, you got to pay a toll. If you want to leave the country, you need a passport. There's a lot of stuff involved with that prove that the people truly are not free. They even got people thinking that if you don't pay your taxes, they can take you to jail. Okay, well, I'm just saying, it's a lot. It's a lot to it. People get you tricked into thinking you're free when you're really not. But when you elevating and you raising your consciousness, you know what I mean, and you be in the know, then you started seeing that you ain't really free. You just maneuvering. And even people, let's say like myself, that know about certain things, even us, we have to struggle in how we navigate in this reality. So you do what you gotta do. But yeah, study, learn. You know what I mean? Turn up on that. Turn up on studying. You know what I mean? But I would say turn down on being judgmental. You know what I mean? Because let's say once I got over the judgmental thing, I was able to learn something different. And then once I learned something different and I weighed what I learned, the different / new stuff that really wasn't new. It had been around, but it was new to me. When I learned the new stuff and I compared it to the older versions of, I started understanding that there were things that I was doing wrong. I was thinking the wrong way towards people, or just stuff like that. So, but if you don't drop that judgmental thing that is put inside of us, then we always going to be on the losing side on that tip. Or you're going to be stuck. You'll be stuck. You know what I mean? So, but I could say inside of the conversation that we had, I did come up with, I learned something. I learned some things. And but I also learned something about myself, because I know that everything that I say, I can back it up. And I also can, most of the basic things that people are going to talk about when they approach you about certain things, I can say, if my Muslim people, my brothers, my sisters, my family, whatever, if they approach me about certain things, anything that I could do, I could show you inside of the religion, where what I'm doing and what I'm saying is correct. Right? But a lot of people don't understand that when they put you on a certain system, if you ain't doing it and saying it the way I want you to do it, then you're doing it wrong. And I'm not going for that no more. I'm not one of those people no more. I'm one of the people that's I'm establishing something for myself first, and for anybody who wants to listen or learn, then maybe they could learn something from my particular journey. Because if you look at any of the big scholars inside of Islam, or even the Christian scholars, all of these scholars had to dedicate their life to being a certain way for the people. Everybody know who and what they are inside. You know what I mean? So certain kind of positions, you take a position based on what you are. You know what I mean? It's not about following, because I definitely appreciate and respect the opinion of multiple people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what kind of where I've developed mine from. And I may not agree with everything they say or how they feel about this, that, and the third, because I'm me and they them. But we on the same channel though with certain stuff. You know what I mean? So, get with it. You know what I mean? Stick to it. Anybody that's going to even Listen to what I'm saying. They already probably halfway there, or they there. You know what I mean? They, you just, person could just be, because I'll listen to somebody like me just to pass time, just to have something to listen to, or somebody to look at that's talking about similar issues that I'm talking about. You know what I mean? But you know, we definitely can. As for the people that's conscious and they really want everybody to be good together and have that mentality, we know who each other is. You know what I'm saying? We know who each other is. You know what I mean? I openly profess to be many things, because I am many things. I've lived many chapters, so I am many things. A combination of many things. So I can get along. I can sit with people. I can sit with. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Telly Savalas, peace, peace, peace. Okay, Telly Savalas. That was one of my favorites, Kojak, right? But we have to. Well, yeah, we do have to. We have to constantly be working at it. Constantly be, evading things that's going to take you off that course. And not getting tired. Not getting tired. I'll be tired too. I'll be tired, man. You know what I mean? Last couple days, I haven't been wanting to do nothing. Well, along this lines, but I mean in talking. But I'll be tired. I'll be tired too. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't gonna. Breathe deep. Continue on. Pray. Have good thoughts about yourself and about reality and what's going to happen now and then the new now, which is they call tomorrow or whatever, and just think good about it. You know what I mean? And don't get Tully Savalas. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up. Tully Savalas. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's one thing I say when I look in the mirror every single day. You know what I say? I say, "Who loves you, baby?" And that's Kojak, because Kojak was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. So that's funny. Telly Savalas is showing me some love, and I say, and that's one of my sayings before I go out. You know what I mean? I talk to myself. I love myself. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. When when you get on, I appreciate that too, man. When you get with yourself, loving yourself. People that love themselves, you know what I mean? These are the people that you want to be in the contact with. These are people that you want to have all dealings with. You don't want to be with them people that don't love themselves. You know what I mean? Because these people, these hurtful people. And you want to be around people that advise you to love yourself and respect yourself. That's first. You know what I mean? That's first. So I learned a lot about that in religion, but also in sports, because I've had some. Even as a young buck, I had some good people coaching me. So they taught not just the sport, they taught us to have some integrity. You know what I mean? When winning and losing. So going into the future, or the so-called future, and everything, and encountering certain experiences in life, like losing and winning. You know what I mean? You had to, keep your head up. Or if you're winning, you know what I mean? Show some composure and, don't overdo it. Don't disrespect the people, you know what I mean? Because you won, or try to degrade them. And you don't never want to. Don't degrade, and then one thing is what I learned. Don't degrade your opponents, because you're only as good as your guys. If you degrade your opponents, then that ain't no good. Because if you say they ain't nothing, then you ain't do nothing then. If anything, when you lose, if you beat somebody, you should say that they great. Because this doesn't mean that you're great, because you were victorious over you had a great opponent, someone with great ability, and you beat them. So I'm just saying, all of these things that contributed to me always wanting to take the high road or to get into high things, high learning, high mindsets, high way of being, high, aspects of living life and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's what I always thought, inside of the boxing and stuff like that. But, I hope, I hope that some of the things that I said, could help somebody. Like I said, I think I'm turning into one of them old young bucks, because I went to sleep early and got up early. It's hard for me to go back to sleep. You know what I mean? So I said, yeah, that's why I should get up and talk about transcendence to the best of my ability. But that's basically what I wanted to talk about. Probably about to make me some tea, some coffee or something. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, stick to your prayers. Be positive. Always be positive. Don't let nothing get you down. Well, don't let nothing keep you down. How about that? I think that's more correct. Because there's plenty of stuff that can get you down. There ain't no way around that. I don't care who you are, how positive you are. There's a whole bunch of stuff that can get you down, but don't let it keep you down. Pull yourself together every day. Drag yourself out of bed. Whatever you gotta do. You know what I mean? And give it another shot. You know what I mean? And trust in the process. But I ain't gonna lie. I trust in the process because, from my religious upbringing, I trust in Allah. I always had what is called tawakkul, to have the trust in Allah. So that allows me to trust the process. So it's working. It's working. It's working. Everything works together. But I'm not deleting. I'm not. Tully Savalas, good looking. Anybody who knows about like what I've been saying as of recently, I don't delete nothing. Everything, it ain't no delete nothing. I'm everything. Right? So when you come talk to me, and I may talk about religion, I may talk about spirituality, I may talk about boxing, I may just talk about anything, health, wellness. I don't know. You know what I mean? Whatever I talk about, I'm coming with everything. You know what I'm saying? And everything, even doing business. We talk about business, you're getting everything. Everything is going to be involved with how I conduct business. Everything is going to be involved with how I box, or how I teach boxing. You know what I mean? Everything. Everything is involved with how I take care of myself when I'm in my home. Everything is involved with it. You know what I mean? So don't delete nothing. Just because you learn something new, what you do, you add it on. You add it, you add it to, it's like, how can I say this? It's like your knowledge base and the knowledge that you have is like a let's say it's a gun, right? And but in the beginning, when you're a child, you basically you got a gun that don't got no bullets in it because you don't know nothing, right? And each year you learn something new. You know what, you put another bullet in your gun, meaning there's something. You put it in there, that's something that now this makes it real. You know something. You know how to brush your teeth. You know how to wipe your butt. You know how to take a shower and wash up. You grow up more and more. You get a little bit older. You can go in the cabinet and get a box of cereal and make a bowl of cereal. And a couple more years go down the line. You know what I mean? Your mom and your dad will let you make some scrambled eggs or some. You know how it is. When you get 10, 11 years old, whatever. They let you fry some bacon or make some eggs. Okay, the process of life. And you learn all these different things, and you become more proficient in taking care of yourself and all that. It's the same thing with religious, spiritual, and conscious knowledge. Every time you elevate and you learn something new, you add it to the things that you already knew. And that's what's going to make you better. And don't forget your past. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. And I think the world would be a better place if we all did that. Or gave that a try. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and dial out, y'all. I appreciate anybody who's watching, and I'll send you some love and some peace, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Peace.